through it, but basically what we continue to strive for is expanding availability and maximizing our facilities. And I think this My Club Lives program is just been, well, it's obviously a lifesaver during when we were locked down, which we hope doesn't happen again. But as we come back, it's really affording a lot of people a lot of flexibility. And I had a few people stop by my office and ask questions about sharing and so forth. But I think people have pretty much got it. It's to Brian's credit, it's very viable, and for somebody that's willing to spend a couple of minutes, I think it's pretty obvious how to use it.
This is primarily designed for the indoor swimming as well as the indoor tennis. The concepts here is we have invited and shared. Invited means that, let's say Tori makes a reservation. Now, Tori, are you a tennis player or just a swimmer?
I'm a tennis player 1, swimmer 2.
Okay. So this would apply. Let's say you have a reservation to play tennis. You then can invite whoever your friends are, and I'm going to show you through the system how you do that invitation. And on the swimming, you can do the same thing. If you're willing to share a lane, that option is clicked, and then it will show on both the app and the website that you're looking, and it's available for somebody else to share.
As unkind as this may seem, you can reject somebody that wants to join you. So if in tennis there's somebody you just don't like to play with or whatever, you can, if you're the reservation originator, you can control the group. You can invite new people in, you can veto people, you're in control. And if you have an emergency and you cancel, the second person in line for that reservation is the new captain. So in swim, for instance, Tori, if I jump in, wanted to share with you, maybe you don't want me swimming.
No, I'm okay with you.
I make a lot of waves. Big guy. And and some people don't. So you have the ability to dismiss.
Well, I would be thinking more of tennis because I was mainly a tennis player. I only swim when the weather's different. But yeah, we're kind of tennis snobs, aren't we? Though, so that would be something kind of important to these tennis snobs that we say no, you can't play. Although on the challenge before, you had to play with that person or get off the court.
Yes.
They challenged you.
That's a challenge court.
Yeah, you were talking about just reservations.
Yes, totally different subject.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, this is when you have the reservation, you own the reservation, and you can pick and choose who you want to play with.
Thank you.
So even if you're missing a person and then somebody else signs up and you say, no, I don't really want to play with Brian. He's not good enough for me. You can just go in and cancel me out. It's that simple. And if you need to cancel your own reservation, you can cancel it, but the people who have signed up are still on that reservation, and the first person on the list now, as Dick said, they are now the reservation holder and the owner of that reservation and have the prerogatives that you did have. Got a set of rules that are set up, but they're changeable. So if we find out that a particular set of rules are not working too well for swim or for tennis, the admin or Dick can go in and change the rules to adjust based on what feedback that he's getting from members. Here is a case where I have logged in, and as you know, it highlights all my reservations, but it also will highlight any reservation that's out there that has been confirmed that the person has indicated a desire to share. So you'll see Howard is there. Now, as a tennis player, what it also shows, in order to help knowing what you might sign up for, it shows their USTA level. So if in your profile you have entered in what your USTA rating is, it'll display it. And the purpose of this is that if you are looking for a game and you see that Howard on Wednesday is got a court at 12:45, but he's a 4-0 player and you're a 3-5, you might say, I don't think I'm going to sign up for that. I don't want to play with the 4-0 player. But if you see another one that's a 3-5 and you're a 3-5, you can say, oh, that's perfect. That's what I'm looking for. Is one of the side effects is that this actually can give an opportunity to meet some new players at the club if they've indicated a desire to actually share a court. And oftentimes with new members, and we've all been new members at some point in time, one of the toughest things to do sometimes is to break in. If you have not yet confirmed your reservation, you cannot obviously share it. So the only time that you're in a position where you can share or invite is after you've done a confirmation. If it's set up where it requires you to list, which none of the rules right now require you to list, but if they change the rules requiring you to list, then you list it by, it goes to this particular page for confirmation. And what you do is in the section where you see the first arrow to the left pointing where it has Hill, is you type in the member's last name. If you don't know the whole spelling, that's fine. It'll feed it for you. And it also will do this, Sally, on the mobile device. And then it will display everybody that has that last name. You then scroll down with your mouse and pick on the one you're interested in. In this case, I click on George Hill. And then I go down where it says update reservation and click on it. Or if I have two more players I want to list, after I've done George Hill, it will appear over here on the right side. And I can then type in somebody else's name. So I can fill all this in, and the maximum you can have that you can list is 3. Obviously, you can't play, well, you can play on a tennis court with more than 4, but generally speaking, you're going to just play at maximum doubles. Now, you'll also notice that next to George Hill, it puts a invite. And what this does is when I put him in there, it will send a message, an email to George, and let him know he now has been invited as a reservation. So he now knows he has a reservation. It'll also appear on his mobile device, and you'll see that later in terms of how it shows. But in addition, you'll see the little envelope. That's the icon for email. If I wanted, after I've done it, I could click on that and actually send him a personal email that will tell him, hey, I didn't have a chance to talk to you, but I've set you up to play on Friday, December 10th at 12:45 on court 10. Hope that's all right. Whatever you want to say. So you can actually, minimize any time you're going to surprise them. If you do that, and then George comes back to you and says, no, I can't play on Friday at 12:45, when you can bring this record back up and you see the little garbage can over there on the right, you click on the garbage can and it deletes George Hill from your reservation itself. And you'll see the little box up there above. Do you want to share the time slot? You can click that off if you're not interested in sharing, or you can leave it on. Even if you put names in, you can still leave that slot. And part of the advantage there is, let's say you filled this up with 3 of your buddies, and one of them says, no, I can't play. When you cancel it, it'll show your reservation like it did on the previous page. On the previous page, it'll show it again, but now it'll put the little purple triangle in the upper right corner indicating that I'm missing a player. And you'll see that on the Friday at 12:45, where I've got 3 players, but I'm still not, I don't have my 4th one. So I'm basically encouraging anybody else looking at reservations who knows, who can see that we're 4-0 players. They can go in and click in, and then I, as the reservation owner, can look at it and say, yeah, that's great that Rick or Tori wants to play with us. I'm going to, accept that one. And now we've got a foursome. Okay, once Tori has indicated that she wants to join our group, the purple triangle disappears because now it's full. And you'll see that on the Thursday at 11:30 where it has all 4 players, listed there. It only shows the rating when it's looking for a player. So you'll notice like Tom Oblitz has a reservation at 9 a.m. on Thursday. It doesn't show his rating because he hasn't indicated that he's interested in sharing. But if he were going to share, and he didn't have a full complement, it would show his rating at that point in time.
And then one thing, Brian, you said that when you invite somebody, they get an email, but it also shows in the actual reservation, when that person logs in, it'll say invited. Is that correct?
That's right. It'll show invited. Now, on the grid here, it doesn't show that Ricky, George were invited. But it does, if George Hill logs in, even though this one is what displays for me, but if George Hill logs in, it will display all the reservations he owns, as well as any reservation where he's been invited or he's sharing. So he has a full view of everything that he's been signed up for.
I had a question about cancellations. Is it by midnight the night before or 24 hours for tennis?
It's 24 hours for tennis. So midnight. If you have a reservation on Sunday, midnight on Friday night going into Saturday is when it goes through and looks at everybody that's not confirmed, and then cancels the reservation if it hasn't been confirmed. Now, remember, being confirmed is different than what Tori just mentioned. She had already confirmed, but now she is without a partner, without somebody to play with. It's not going to cancel her reservation just because she doesn't have a player. Instead, what she would do is, or recommended to do, is to go in and change the status to say, I don't have a player, I'm looking for somebody else, and that she wants to share. And it will do just like you see on Court 10 for Wednesday with Howard Ortman, where he's there and it's got the purple triangle.
And I would also suggest, Tori, that you put in your rating so that when it shows that you have a reservation and you're willing to share, people will know what level you are. And I'm quite sure that people with lower ratings are reticent to go join somebody they don't know. But if they see their comparable level, then there's no reason why you couldn't have a good game. And so I would encourage everybody to put for that reason, to put their levels in.
And you do that in the profile. So you just go into your profile and just set up your rating. That's also where you could change your phone number or your email or any of these other things that you want to change.
And this is a one-time deal. You don't have to do it for every reservation.
Right. And then say I've logged in and I see that Howard, in this case, is looking for another partner. He doesn't have anybody. It's got the purple triangle. So that means he's looking for somebody to play. When I click on Howard, when I click on that time, which is Wednesday at court 10 at 12:45, it takes me to this screen. And it shows me again the date, the time, the court, and it reminds me who the owner is. Now, I have a couple choices. One is I can click on the email or chat button there and send me a message indicating that Tori wants to know whether or not she can join me to play. Or I can exit out saying, no, I'm not interested in playing with Brian. Or I can click on add me to the reservation. You don't need to do anything else because you've already logged in. It knows everything it needs to about you, including your rating and everything, as long as you've set it up in your profile. And when you click add me to the reservation, you're then added to the reservation itself. And you become embedded in the reservation box. Okay, and now we've mentioned this, but how to delete shared or invited members, and then the primary reservation holder canceling. Okay, so the primary, in this case, it's me. I can cancel anybody that is either invited or shared by just clicking on the box, shows me the people who are invited, and I can then go next to the name and click on the garbage can. After I've clicked on the garbage can, that person will be deleted. But what I do need to do is I then need to press the update reservation to now show the reservation as just me, and in this case, George Hill. Okay, Howard was the primary reservation holder. Howard canceled. And what that did is that immediately elevated Jonathan as the primary reservation holder. However, when I press the cancel button, it always wants to make sure that I didn't do it accidentally. So it asks me to confirm that I'm going to cancel. And once it's canceled, I'm out. I don't have that reservation anymore.